Hello and welcome to NewsX Deepdive with me, Asavri Jindal. Tonight, we focus on the latest digital trail that investigators believe could provide fresh clues in the Ketan Agarwal murder case. For weeks, investigators have been trying to establish one crucial question. Was Ketan Agarwal's death a carefully planned conspiracy? Now, police believe they may have found an important piece of the puzzle. Not in CCTV footage or in forensic evidence, but in social media messages on Snapchat. The latest revelation in the investigation is a set of Snapchat allegedly exchanged between Prime Accused Sia Goyal and one of her friends recovered from Sia's phone. So tonight we ask, what exactly do these chats reveal? Why are investigators calling them significant? And can disappearing messages become the strongest evidence in a murder trial? According to investigators, one particular message has now become the center of attention. The message reads, "Wedding jo honi nahi wali," or the wedding that is never going to happen. Investigators say the message were exchanged on 25th of May, nearly a month before the Lohagarh Fort murder. Police are now examining whether this message reflects frustration in the relationship or whether it indicates prior knowledge of and surety that the wedding would never take place. The distinction could become crucial if the prosecution seeks to establish motive and premeditation. This is not the first time investigators have pointed towards digital evidence. Over the past several days, police have repeatedly said that deleted conversations between Sia Goyal and co-accused Chetan Chaudhary have been recovered. According to investigators, the two allegedly communicated using code words, nicknames and even emojis instead of directly discussing their alleged plans. And this coded communication may indicate a conscious attempt to avoid detection. Forensic experts are decoding these conversations to examine whether they reveal planning, intent or conspiracy. Every deleted message, every timestamp, every location record and every communication pattern is now being treated as potential piece of evidence. So let's take a closer look at the latest recovered chats. The conversation begins with Sia asking her friends to share photos of her Aadhaar card in order to book tickets for the wedding. Sia then says, "Tickets for the wedding? That is never going to happen." Her friend doesn't seem to react to the second message, simply saying that she has shared her Aadhaar with Sia on WhatsApp. A closer look at the chats also shows that the person with whom Sia is chatting has now unfriended her on Snapchat. Moreover, a picture then shared by Sia in the same chat discredits another claim made by Sia's family. The picture shows Sia sharing a picture of Maggie with her friend, while an e-cigarette device can be seen kept beside. This is, of course, alongside other recently recovered videos of Sia. It's in fact removed from Sia's mother's statement asserting that the daughter neither drinks or smokes. Now, to understand why the Snapchat chats matter, we do need to revisit the prosecution's case. Police alleged that Ketan Agarwal was lured to Lohagarh Fort by Sia Goyal with Chetan Chaudhary, then arriving at the scene. Investigators claim the outing itself was part of the pre-planned conspiracy. According to police, Sia allegedly gave a predetermined signal by sitting down at a particular location, after which Chetan allegedly pushed Ketan into the gorge. These allegations remain a prosecution's version of events and have not yet been proven before the court. Now, investigators want to know, were these plans discussed beforehand? Were there conversations leading up to the day? Do the recovered Snapchat chats become indicative of that planning? This is exactly what digital forensic experts are trying to establish. These chats have become even more significant because investigators recently hit a roadblock. Police wanted both Sia Goyal and Chetan Chaudhary to undergo polygraph examinations. However, both declined consent. Under Indian law, polygraphy tests require voluntary consent, without which investigators cannot compel the examination. As a result, police are now relying more heavily on digital evidence, forensic reconstruction and electronic records to strengthen their case and see how the accused respond when confronted with evidence. The investigation has also widened beyond just two accused. Police have hinted that additional individuals may have been aware of the alleged conspiracy before Ketan Agarwal's death. One friend has reportedly been questioned after investigators claimed he knew about the alleged plan. According to police, he has maintained that he advised the accused against carrying out any such act. Whether investigators can corroborate the claim remains to be seen. Now, the latest chats also seem to point to other possibly being in the know. The investigation is no longer just about eyewitnesses or forensic science. It has become a test of digital evidence in modern criminal investigations. Today, investigations don't just examine fingerprints. They examine phone backups, cloud accounts, deleted chats, metadata, location history, and communication patterns. Digital behavior has become an important and in fact has become as important as physical evidence. And in the Ketan Agarwal murder investigation, the prosecution believes the answer may lie inside conversations that someone thought would disappear forever. Joining us to take this conversation forward is Mr. Sanjay Sahai, former ADGP of Karnataka. So I appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Like I said, what's being assessed and examined thoroughly are the Snapchat chats where, from what we're understanding, there was an attempt to use emoji, code language, so on and so forth, and that has become a very big part of this investigation. How are you viewing the developments, sir?
So they have used the coded language, so that is already accepted, and huge amount of effort is being made on the forensic side of it to decipher as to what the communication went on. As far as the conspiracy goes from the beginning till the end, I think all major milestones of that particular conspiracy is inclusive of the physical evidence of they going to the cafe and variety of other things, and also a rehearsal which was tried in a hillock close by to the accused's home. So all that thing has been clearly established. Now the issue is that more and more of these messages and the Snapchat which you're talking about, that gives you granular details as to how meticulous the whole thing was in its planning and what is the level of criminality which is there in Shriya's head and Chetan's head, and the level to the premediation which has been going on its own, however much we talk about the Snapchats, is not going to prove anything on its own. But if you put it in the whole scheme of things, where it adds up is the motive part of it. So the motive, because of these small incidents and messages, so that keeps getting added up as a rock solid narrative from the idea to the execution. So that becomes very, very important. Added to that, you have been talking about metadata, you have been talking about timestamp. When all this information is put through variety of tools which you use in forensics and we use in artificial intelligence, you get patterns to things, you get timelines, you get the connection, and it becomes very easy to prove the motive part of it based on whatever information you have, whatever tools are there, and the communication which has happened in the normal scheme of things, and that particular evidence is not being handled only for this purpose. So, in the normal scale of things, all these things have happened. Snapchat, as such, does not give anything which is radically different from whatever is already known. It adds to the story, it adds granularity to the story, it adds a level of criminality, something unimaginable to that story, and that is how the motive gets proved. Still, this challenge of this particular case remains that the offense, the fall of Ketan. So that needs to be established. Whether you establish through satellite imagery, you establish through some witness,
Right.
you establish through precision location of the phones which were there, which means Ketan's, Sia, and Chetan's phone. Chetan was using somebody else's phone, or you use a satellite imagery, or it can be a DNA profiling. But unfortunately, I think the clues were not seized at that particular point in time. So this is broadly where we are.
Right, absolutely. So with that, I'd like to thank you for joining us and sharing your perspectives with us.
Thank you.